Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, see how to. Click on the subscribe button below and also click on the bell beside this. This will notify you once we drop a new video. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Shall we applaud the Ogun State Cultural Troupe? While the Ogun State Cultural Troupe was performing, we have stepping into the amphitheater all the way from the source, Odua, Ile-Ife, His Imperial Majesty, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, Ooni Ile-Ife. Ẹ jẹ́ á sọ pé kábíyèsí o. Of course, Her Excellency, the Moremi of our own time, the wife of the Governor of Ogun State and President of the Uplift Foundation, Her Excellency, Dr. Mrs. Olufunsho Amosu, is equally in the house. We recognize the presence of the Akaribo of Remo Kingdom. Kabiyesi is Royal Majesty Oba Babatunde Ajayi.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Governor, and the spirits behind this evening, Your Royal Majesties, Excellencies, and my friends and colleagues. You know, something struck me this evening as the salutations were being made by the earlier speakers, that all the former military governors and administrators appear to be here. One or two are even represented by their wives. I ask myself, what is it that brings all the ex-military governors here and administrators? And suddenly it hit me. They miss the rhythm. They miss the military rhythm. And with that realization, I also ask myself the question, why is it that even after demobilizing and they go into politics, why is it that we fail to take the military out of them? And how do we go about really converting them into civilians? You know, they're all over the place. They are senators, they're governors, they're even presidents. And when they get there, very often you find that it's so difficult to take the military out of them. This evening, I think I finally found the solution. When they come out, we have to convert their sense of rhythm. We make them go through the traditional rhythms. But we must break them in gently. We can let them begin with the Atilogu, They moved from the Atilogu to the Bata dance, still energetic. And we take them through all the various Nigerian rhythms, including the fertility rhythms of the Efik and the Calabar, and they must wear the costume as well. I think that's one way when we immerse them in the real rhythm of their origins, their tradition. That's the only way that we'll ever get them to convert completely to civilians. You see, they've been so used to a particular rhythm, especially when they want to discipline civilians, John, and things like that. And of course, all orders, immediate alacrity, and so on. And so if we really want, if they say they must go into politics, the test is to put them through all the rhythms, national rhythms, from the north to the south, from the west to the east. If they pass that test, then we can make them, allow them to stand election. In all seriousness, however, a few weeks ago, it was World Poetry Day. The whole world celebrated World Poetry Day. Today, we're celebrating the African Festival of Drums. Drums, not just African, but international rhythms. There's a strong connection between that World Poetry Day and tonight. And that, of course, is rhythm, the meter, because poetry itself is all rhythm, essentially rhythm. It's in meters. And it doesn't matter what language we're talking about. We're not speaking only of English. The Jala, Ewi, etc., etc. If you listen to the recitation, it's all about rhythm. And in the hands of the proficient drummer, you're listening to pure poetry. You realize that you're in the realm of poetry, even though it's not literal. It's not literary poetry, but it's poetry just the same. And when you listen to the masters and you watch the movement of the hands on that leather, that piece of leather, or whatever instrument, whatever percussion instrument, you're watching and listening to poetry at the same time. And this is something which I would like to pass on to some of our modern dancers. If you put on the television these days and you watch video, I can't quite make up my mind whether these singers and dancers, whether they're doing PT or they're dancing. It all seems to me the same kind of motion. All acrobatics, all steady beat, and very often many of them don't even know what their hands are doing. I would like them to come back home and attend events like this evenings, and they might be able to draw from the traditional rhythms what is generally missing in some of the videos that we watch these days. I'm not saying they are not proficient. I'm not saying they do not have their place. And after all, we live in a contemporary age in which the rhythm is different from what traditional rhythms you'll be watching tonight and, of course, for the next few days. No, they have their place. But I think most of the dances that we watch these days are very stereotypical. You can almost predict what the next movement is going to be, and they all look the same. Well, you can inject some of these discarded traditional rhythms into these video clips that proliferate and sometimes, in my view, pollute vision. But above all, the message I want to leave with you is this: that rhythm is productivity. There's a little paragraph in the program, which will be in the brochure, which I think has been distributed, which I distinguish between, for instance, the rhythm of the blacksmith with hammer on the anvil, and the rhythm of the Isain weavers. And I say that when you lose certain rhythms, know that you've lost certain forms of productivity. And by listening to those rhythms, it's possible that something may be awakened in us, which also will enable us to return to certain productive rhythms. And of course, with the rhythms, the actual material production we provided our livelihood since we were children. It's important that we recognize the fact that yes, rhythm is to entertain, is to liberate the body, to liberate the mind, to take us into unsuspected areas of sensibility. But at the same time, drumming has a function, a deep organic function, and that is that it actually governs the rhythms of production. So in addition to the sheer pleasure of listening, to getting carried away with the mastery and the poetry of drums, let's always remember also that there are certain rhythms that we've lost, and with those rhythms go, disappear, vanish also the kind of productive material which can answer the contemporary hunger and thirst of the world. I don't believe that there is much rhythm in petroleum, but there is lots of rhythm in farming and in food production. And one of the most glorious rhythms that I know, most glorious, and I think many people here will agree, is the rhythm of yams being pounded by a pair of pestles. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for watching. You want to see more? Click below and subscribe because we drop video every day.